All right, now we're going to jump into a little bit of a Bundesliga chat time with our boy Nate.
When it's late at night and your league is canceled, what do you do? Bundesliga chat time.
He's been taking singing lessons.
Well, that's counterproductive because you said late at night, but it's actually in the morning.
Yeah, well,
we are at night here, but
depends on when you watch the replay.
That's true.
That's absolutely true.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put a hole in your...
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm assuming...
You did that to me anyways, so...
I'm assuming that, maybe that you had other things going on and you wanted to watch some soccer and there's no Premier League, so not unlandish,
That's
you're hungry.
True.
Maybe
That's
it's
true.
dinner
Fair
time
enough.
and you're having some schnitzel and strudel and you're like, hey.
Maybe one night we need to bring some schnitzel here and eat while we do Bundesliga chat time.
All
right, Nate.
Little pretzel and some Weissen beer. Yeah, so here we go.
All right, what do we got on
Pretzel and
Bundesliga chat time this week, Nate?
Yeah, well,
Away.
basically, this is Nate picks all the team wrong week and forever and always because, hey, that's what I did. So, started the league week out with Friday, Bremen versus Augsburg. I thought for sure Bremen was going to snap a hole in Augsburg, and I was wrong. Augsburg won. Then Munich, as we talked about, played Stuttgart, and I thought for sure Munich was going to beat the shit out of Stuttgart, and I was delightfully wrong. Then Wolfsburg comes into Frankfurt, and I'm like, Frankfurt's on a roll, so they're going to win, right? Nope. Fuck you, Nate. Wolfsburg won. Then, all right, here we go. Hertha versus Leverkusen. I was like, there is no fucking way Leverkusen's going to lose. No way. It's Hertha Berlin. They barely made it out of the league last year. And Leverkusen's got all sorts of forwards, and they have a Chelsea player on loan, and they're gonna bounce back. No, they fucking tied. And then Leipzig versus Dortmund, and I was like, this is gonna be a draw because there's no fucking way, that a coach with 2 days with the team is gonna beat Leipzig beat the shit out of Dortmund. Hoffenheim beat the crap out of Mainz. Schalke got their first win against Bochum. And that was my Saturday roundup, and I just have decided that I'm not going to predict games anymore because it's pretty embarrassing. It is highly embarrassing.
So when we
made this so dramatic.
It was.
Do you know how dramatic you just made?
Yes.
I know.
That's what I do. Sunday I was right. Sunday, Cologne versus Union Berlin. Union Berlin, the league leaders. Union Berlin, the number one team, and that's Union Berlin, not Bayern Munich. Just so you understand that is a
breaking news.
Union
Breaking news! Union Berlin is number one in the Bundesliga. Fuck you, Bayern.
Basically,
yes.
the people's champ.
The people have spoken.
But Union, actually, if you know history in Union Berlin, good for them. Hopefully they'll keep it up because their history is pretty much built of a team of supporters, people that actually built their stadium at one point. So Berlin had a really close, good game with a one Jorhan Pifuk providing another assist. His last name is now so comical and nobody knows what to call him. It's just Jordan on the back.
Jordan.
So just call me Jordan.
Does he just have Jordan on the back?
Yeah, he just has Jordan on the back.
And I tried Sibachu, and that didn't work.
And then everyone got confused. So
good call. Good job, Jordan.
Becker is now sitting there. Scheidlo Becker is racking in the goals for Union and is, I believe, the goal scoring leader for the Bundesliga, playing for Union Berlin with his partner Pifuk, and those guys are just on a roll constantly. Those two guys are together. Berlin's scoring facts, and they beat a very good unbeaten Cologne team. Very back and forth, and it was a solid game.
Was the first time finish from the second goal, I believe, from the winger, was it?
It was there was a 1-0 win.
It was only the one goal then.
Yeah,
the first time finish. Okay, sorry. I watched part of the game and I thought there were more goals.
No. Well, there was a bunch called off. So,
that was one. It was one that was called off sides.
Yep.
Okay.
So there was a bunch that were called off, but it was a solid effort. Solid back and forth game, and then Freiburg and Gladbach tied 0-0. So interesting news. And this is kind of in the realms of how long do you keep a manager, guys? All right, Leverkusen is 1-1-5. They are shitting all over the bed.
We're going to put the table up now so everybody can take a look.
So, yeah, they're not doing good. They're in the Champions League. They finished third last year. They're not doing good. Simone, the coach, they keep saying we got his back. But the question is, if you ran this club, how much longer would you allow this to go on? Because they, again, tying against Hertha Berlin, that should have been a win. Absolutely should have been a win. There are games here that, if you look at it for them, there's no way they should have lost. They shouldn't have lost the Pokal against a third division team. They shouldn't have lost to Augsburg. They shouldn't have lost to Club Brugge, if you ask me, and they shouldn't be tying Hertha. So how long do you keep them in? And that piggybacks, too, because the return of Marco Rose for Leipzig, Dortmund hasn't been doing that well. Mm-hmm. And then Marco Rose jumps in, maybe fired a little bit too early, and pumps them 3-0 with a 2-day prep. So how long do you keep your coach if he's struggling at this point?
I mean, they're sitting in 17th out of 18. They got 4 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's one tie, one win. They're within striking distance. They're one win away from getting into, almost 10th spot. So I think personally, and I know the Bundesliga merry-go-round and the theme park that has going on with it. I mean, I got to be honest. I give the guy to 10 games and say, listen, if you're in the bottom 3 after 10 games, adios. There's going to be managers available. Other clubs are going to fire.
I'm making an analogy here between a good old MLS team that's in second place now.
Okay. That
was a little focused on CONCACAF Champions League, and once they got through that, unfortunately they were eliminated. That they kind of found their way, and I think they got a little CF Montreal going here at the beginning of the season, where the first 4, 5, 6 games they had trouble finding their way. But then eventually, once they got knocked out of CONCACAF Champions League, that kind of just hadn't focused on the league now instead of focused on Champions League. So it sounds like Leverkusen are all in on UEFA Champions League, and that's kind of just really just kind of breaking things up here in the Bundesliga.
If they're all in that UEFA Champions League, they lost to Club Brugge their first game 1-0. So
you can be all in and still not have results. That's very common.
They're struggling.
That's very common.
Okay, so you guys should hold on to it. So Marco Rose coming in for Leipzig, though.
Balance is life.
But Marco Rose now coming in for Leipzig, and Leipzig looking impressive against Dortmund. And Leipzig, who is a good team. They're a very good team. That's why Tedesco was groomed out, the former coach, because they weren't doing good. $1 million question for you. Leipzig's in the Champions League. They play Madrid. They had 1 loss. So they're still kind of in it, still early. Are you bought or sold for Leipzig getting out of their group? And their group is Shakhtar, who's number 1. That's who they lost against. Madrid and Celtic.
No, they're not getting out of the group.
They're not getting out.
No, they're not getting out of the group. No. They're going to end up having to focus on the league too much, and they're going to end up not focusing on Champions League because they realize if they do focus on Champions League, what are the chances of them actually winning the Champions League? Slim to none, so you might as well focus on your league to try to improve your league standing so you don't get relegated and left behind. Okay. So in my opinion, no, they do not get out of the group because they'll put all their eggs in the Bundesliga league basket.
Yes, because they have the best chance of winning.
No, I don't think they'll win the Bundesliga, but I think they got to get into the top 4 in order to
qualify again.
Qualify again.
But I'm just saying that's
if you qualify, you get more money and more status, and be able to get more players. Yes. If you make it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League and lose, and then you finish 9th or 10th in the Bundesliga. You're not going to be able to recruit better players for the next year.
Fair. So, but if you're not going to win Champions League. I mean, what's your next best thing to win the league, Bundesliga, to try to win it, and then try to also win the other competitions within the league. So to gain trophies to attract players.
Nate, your thoughts? Where do you answer your own question, please?
I think they're going to get out.
You think they'll get out?
I think they're going to get out. I think
even after getting pumped.
Leipzig, who beat Dortmund with their new coach with 2 days prep, I think will get out of their group. Dortmund, I think, will also get out of their group. But I think Leipzig is going to – I think Rose is going to turn around. I'm kind of confident of it. I think you look at this talent of the team, I think he's using them.
How's Werner looked since he came back?
Not bad.
See,
not bad.
Yeah, see, they got him back feeling comfortable. That could be
bad.
interesting. So I could see Nate's point.
So last one, and this is the hypothetical. So there is a situation with a Wolfsburg player, and at the end of a match, basically Max Cruz, who was with Union before and just transferred over, and he's kind of a stalwart.
Yeah.
Niko Kovac, the coach, basically said he's permanently booted him off the team, and he's done. He says he doesn't fit our style, said it openly in an interview. He doesn't fit his style.
He was good for the prior team he played for.
So his response was, I decide when my time in the Bundesliga is over. So here's just a hypothetical question. You get interviewed. You just get told that you're no longer on the team. You're looking for another. What would Craig Hearn and Brooks have to say if the shoe was on the other foot?
Great question. So he's been told you're not playing, you're no longer.
You're gone. You're done.
We don't want you anymore.
Yep. Not only he was told, but the coach said it openly.
They still have to pay a salary because of the contract that's been signed by both sides. I mean, you can tell the truth unless there's something in there that says, listen, unless there's something written in the contract, you can't disparage the club because we are paying you even though no matter what happens. But, I mean, give an interview, you say, I'm planning on leaving as soon as possible, and I would like someone to come in with an offer, and we're open to negotiations and look to play. I mean, this happens all the time in England. Yeah. There's a new manager comes in and tells a player, listen, tell your agent to find a new club for you.
He also said that the coach also said this openly in the process. Why
so everybody's aware, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's aware of the situation. I mean, I don't know. I'd say it's an unfortunate situation. It sucks. Someone else I would love to play in the Bundesliga. Anybody interested?
Yeah.
I mean,
Brooks,
that's the only thing you can do.
What would your words be?
Man, that's tough. Like as a player,
a player.
The question was it the coach's decision to buy him or was it the upper staff?
I'm trying to remember. I don't.
Because that's just like a double hit.
Probably prior management, right?
I think he was brought in prior to COVID.
But you also have to understand if you shit on the club,
yeah.
What new club wants to take a chance on you?
Yep.
Listen to what he just said. So you want me to bring this guy in who shit on the prior club, who's paying him, even though they're treating him poorly, they're shitting all over him. You want me to bring this guy in? There's second thoughts. I think
that's where you really have to meet with the player and you got to discuss the situation, 1v1. To be honest with you,
and then now it's open.
If you want to bring in the player, no, that's what I'm saying. If you're inquiring about a player, interested about him, you need to speak with the agent. You need to speak with people that know the person to see, is this how he is? Does he act out like this? What can we do? So, for me, it's. I don't know. I mean, if he's worth the risk, take him. To me, if like someone wants to buy him,
I think he's gonna go somewhere else in the league for sure.
But I just think it's bad when a coach comes out publicly like that. Yeah. Like that's something that you keep within within the club.
He was a starter a couple times this year too.
Because it just makes you look bad as a coach.
So I have a feeling Nate's gonna tell us exactly what he said, right?
Yes.
Well, that's what Max Cruz just said. I'll decide when my time in the Bundesliga is over, is what he said.
That's a very professional answer.
What I would say is I look forward to playing him against him in the future.
Sure.
There's something and I would use that, and I would go to somewhere, and I would make sure that I started and pumped him full of goals and laughed at him.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. Max Cruz is a bit on the move, a bit of a stalwart. I think there's a couple teams out there that could use him, that could pick him up. We'll see what happens there, even though he's kind of of an age, but he's not a bad forward. He's not a bad target forward if you need him. Honestly, if he went to Stuttgart, I would not.
You'd be pretty happy.
Wouldn't be happy. Goal of the week: Kemrick, Hoffenheim, overhead kick. Go watch it. Ooh. It was pretty damn amazing. It was one of the four that went in for Hoffenheim, who are looking good. Sitting in fourth. So right now the table, if you look at it, Union is sitting up there undefeated, 4 wins, 2 draws. Freiburg 4-1-1. Mm-hmm. Bayern Munich, even though they haven't lost, 3-3 is not very good for them. It's very close within that table. It's very, very tight as normal. And you still have a few teams, unfortunately, Stuttgart and
wins,
and no wins,
5 draws.
So Stuttgart, no wins. We're just gonna continue drawing. It'll be
It's like Nashville SC of Bundesliga.
I mean,
exactly.
They're sitting 14th though, and they're not. I mean, they get a couple wins here, and they're up in there. But their goal is not to get relegated for the most part. Coming second year after relegation, then welcome there as no wins, no draws, no nothing. Can't wait for that coach to get canned. Right above from Leverkusen, and I don't know how Simone has a job. He'll be on the door soon.
Mm-hmm.
Nico Kovac, I think, saved his job by winning against Frankfurt, and with their first win in the league. So we'll see. We'll monitor that situation a little bit more, and that's basically it for the Bundesliga chat time.
That's your Bundesliga chat time for this week.